Excuse me just a second. Hey everybody, Backpack Hack here, coming at you with another trail tip. I'm just having a Twinkie, and who doesn't like having a Twinkie? But the problem is, they don't last very long, because I get a box of Twinkies and they're gone pretty quick. But wouldn't it be nice if you were taking like a through hike on a long trail and you're going to be on the trail for several weeks before you can resupply? Wouldn't it be nice to have a nice fresh Twinkie on that trip? Or suppose you have an RV and you want to go boondocking in a remote site for several weeks. To have fresh snack cakes would be kind of nice to have, wouldn't it? Or maybe you're a prepper, and 25 years after they quit making Twinkies when SHTF happens, you have fresh Twinkies sitting right next to those 5-gallon buckets of beans and rice. Well, we all know that Twinkies don't last because, first off, if you have any, they probably disappear pretty quick. People eat them. And if you do keep them around a couple weeks, they start to get stale. They start to get a little rubbery. Now, I know a lot of people have heard stories about how archaeologists have found Twinkies in 4,000-year-old Egyptian tombs. Well, we all know that's not true. That doesn't happen. Twinkies just do not last. Or do they? Did you know that it's possible to dehydrate snack cakes like this, store them away, and years later reconstitute them and they'll be just as fresh as the day you bought them? Yes, it is possible. And I do it in my dehydrator all the time. A couple things I need to cover on this is an ordinary cheap dehydrator is not going to work. You need a dehydrator that goes down to about 110 to 120 degrees, which is well below what an oven will do. So you can't do this process in an oven. You need a dehydrator where you can adjust the temperature down low. So one of those, simply turn it on and put the stuff in that you make fruit roll-ups in, that's not going to work. You need to be able to dial that temperature down. I have found in my Excalibur, 115 degrees at about 12 to 14 hours is perfect. Now, if you have a round dehydrator with that tube down the center for airflow, you're going to have to take the individual snack cakes out of the box. But do not take them out of the wrapper. You'll ruin them in the reconstituting process. Myself, since I can put an entire box of Twinkies into my dehydrator by taking a couple of the shelves out, that's exactly what I do. So first off, let's get these in the dehydrator. I'll throw them in there, get them dehydrated, and we'll come back and I'll show you how you can reconstitute snack cakes years after you've dehydrated them and have nice fresh snacks. So let's head to the dehydrator. In order to get these boxes to fit, I have to take out some of the shelves. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then all I have to do is put in my boxes, and they are ready to dehydrate. Okay, now that they're done, let's go ahead and open them up. And yeah, I've got a couple of boxes of dehydrated Twinkies and Ho-Hos right there. Once you have them dehydrated, you're ready to store them away. And you can store them away for decades in this condition because they are dehydrated. If you really want to store them for long-term storage, I would suggest that you vacuum seal these packages in a Mylar bag, and that way you're going to have them for decades to come. To rehydrate them, to reconstitute them, is very, very simple. And you have to know whether you want to do one individual snack cake or you want to do the entire box. If you want to do one snack cake, you can do that in a small container. Like a Twinkie, you could do in a glass or your boil pot if you're out on the trail. But if you want to reconstitute the entire box, you need to remember that you're going to have a large box when it's all reconstituted. It's going to go back to its original size. So even though this will fit in this glass, it is going to have to take something like this to reconstitute it with, because you're going to have that entire box back in space, and you can't get that box in here. It'll ruin them. So I'm going to rehydrate an entire box. I'm going to just drop this into the water. We'll let it set for about 15 minutes, and we'll come back and we'll open it up and see what happens. So just drop it in the water and let it set for a while, and we'll go head towards some nice fresh Twinkies. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes, and you can see we have a reconstituted box of Twinkies. I got some towels here because this is going to be a little bit wet. And, of course, whenever you reconstitute one of these, you want to make sure that you have some towels handy or a rag or something. And this is why you do not take them out of the package, or you do not take them out of the wrapper, because otherwise they will get soggy when you do this. So you want to make sure that you do this with the wrappers on and never take them out of the wrapper, even if you dehydrate them individually. And they may be a little bit wet, because because you saw all that water that came out of them. But here we have some nice, fresh, reconstituted Twinkies, snack case, whatever you want. Dry it off a little bit. And now you have a nice, fresh Twinkie. So this is Backpack Hat coming at you with this trail tip. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment on my videos. Be safe out there, and I'll see you out on the trail.